Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild and I am back from hospital. So finally we are back into regular videos. The last videos, thanks for all the there were some well wishes, and on the other hand there were people that gave me ideas. I finished this thing and I'm absolutely not happy with it. It is not what I thought it would be. And it works as a mining craft and it does what it is supposed to do, but I don't know, it's just for the length it's pencil shaped, and that's not nice. So we can mine with it, but we need to find a different solution. And there jumps in one of my subscribers, Alex Hudson, again. Came to not the rescue, but he had a proposal and said, hey, I designed some ships, this type of ship, and I wanted to show that to you. And I don't have the ships here, but I took a look at them in a test world and took inspiration from them, and so we might change this up and build something else. He made a mining ship. It is a bit like the one I have back at the asteroid, and I have to say that's not what I wanted, but I think that's what I will have to go with. So have a bigger mining head, then transport capabilities and all this stuff. What he did is he has a transport ship, and then he has the mining ship, and the mining ship is basically two parts. So there is the front, the mining head, that is basically just drills and stuff like that, and everything you need to keep it in position, and some merge blocks. And then he has the back of the ship that is the storage, so a ship where you can store the ores. And then I'm not sure how he thought of it, that you would use the transport ship to get rid of all the stuff and bring that back to the fleet. What he has there is, yeah, basically a ship that you can detach from the mining front and then fly that wherever you want. And I think the idea is not bad. Have the drill head not attached to, not be attached to the ship, but being detachable. So basically that let's say the drills would then just, you could just get rid of them, fly the transport ship back to the base, unload it, and then come back, attach the mining drills again, do all your mining work, do the same thing. If you have an asteroid, for example, that is relatively close by, or has stuff you need, you could just leave a drill head there, and shed weight basically in the end. If a mining ship runs full of stuff, then it gets unwieldy. Then you have trouble getting rid of the stuff again. That's one thing I wanted to get rid of by using small cargo containers. And the cargo containers, let's say it that way, the cargo containers here are not the problem. I can mine forever and not fill them up. So that's definitely not the problem. The problem that I mainly have is that, yeah, it doesn't look so good. And to be fair, it takes ages to drill with these things. For some reason, I don't know why. there was a suggestion by John Rizzo to take a look at double drill, and I will do that in a bit. But that's one thing. I wanted to not have modded drills, but I might just take a look at them. The version of Alex Hutchinson comes with no mods at all, so it works. He, I think, had it also set up to work relatively automatically, at least the transport ship that he had. I'm not sure how he worked with it. He also designed a transport ship to bring stuff back to base, and the transport ship is, let's say it that way, and Alex, I hope you don't get me wrong there, it's just containers with some thrusters. So the drill ship, I kind of like the form, but we will do something else. So again, I will take this idea and build my own version of it. I think the idea is good, and I get the reason why you would do that way. It's nice to be able to just take off the transport, the back of that, fly that back, empty out your holds, so you lose a lot of weight. That so the ore brings in weight, and you can just take away a lot of the weight by just leaving the drills where they are. And I think something like that we should do. In the last few hours, when I played, let's say it that way, I got into a bit of trouble. So we had an enemy signal close by to our anchor station here, and I found some things there. So I found this thing here, booty found. This thing is one of these drones. It had the pilot AI in the cockpit. I'm not sure if I still have that on me. I have to think, where am I? No, I think I just placed it somewhere else, but I had to grind down the cockpit and then get this. This thing will vanish. I don't need fighters anymore, but this is at least night. It reminds me of a Kilrathi fighter from Wing Commander with the swept down wings here and all that stuff. Nice idea. I will remove that and just gather the resources. And I'm not sure what I will do with this big thing here. That was an enemy signal that popped up and then went away. So I found a crashed ship close to the base, and this is what came out of it. It's a mess of materials, broken hallways and all that stuff. So it might just go away too. It will give us yeah, a lot of materials that I might be able to use for later builds, and at the moment it is just trash. It's nothing special. I had to shoot it up a bit, so this ship was really helpful with it, but there were not a lot of weapons on there, and again, it looked like this before. So I've put some solar panels on here to maneuver it into this position after I brought it here in tow with this ship. But yeah, there's some thrusters. I can definitely use that, and I'm not even able to distinguish what ship this was, because here's something and there's something, and it could be just a station. So I'm not sure. I brought it just here to be able to dismantle it at one point. Good. Let me take a look at the mod that was suggested, something like a twin drill. He was not very specific with what the idea was there. I will take a look at that. And then we might start building the front of the drill ship and define that, and then go later and build out the rest. I kind of want to incorporate hydrogen again, because that's one thing that this ship does relatively well, is even with not a lot of thrusters, it is still relatively maneuverable because of the hydrogen thrusters. That's one thing that you really have to say. And being able to just feed itself with ice, I dug out more and more of the ice here, and being able to fill its tanks by itself, that's nice. And maybe we will do something like that again. Otherwise, this ship also has a jump drive, and it has stone dusters. That's the only modded part on here for now, to get rid of the stone. I could also just put in some throwouts, but I want to try to not. Oh yeah, does it have a built-in repair system? No, I think it hasn't. So yeah, again, this is relatively unmodded for now. It's nice that it fits into this form factor, relatively small, but putting tanks on there immediately crashes my ideas of having a relatively compact but big drill ship. Yeah. Okay, let me take a look at the mods, and maybe, don't know, maybe I decide to incorporate that. I will take a look. Otherwise, we will just go with the idea of Alex Hudson and make a new drill ship, replace this, remove this. We really don't need that. And I need something that I can move from planet to planet with a fleet, and this might be a good idea. We could even, and that's one thing one idea I had, is just leave drill heads at positions or asteroids that I like. So have multiple drill head attachments that we are that we might be where we might be I can't talk today, where we might be able to just detach it, leave it there, have them similar to a beacon at certain asteroids with maybe antennas on there where we can see, okay, there is this and this stuff, there's this and this stuff. Now that some things work again, like the ore detectors, the connectors don't detach anymore. I think there was an update yesterday or something like that. So that might help us. Good, let us jump into building, and I take a look at the mods, all this stuff. I started the drill head here, and I over-engineered this thing here, but I think I will just cut it loose at one point, keep the back. We need to start another ship, so that should work out then. This will be the start in the middle. I have a thruster here, so at one point it needs its own thrusters to stay in place. It doesn't need a lot. That's the good thing about this. So if it just stays in place, it needs just a few thrusters to each side, so it doesn't move away. It will get a bit of power. I'm thinking about just batteries and some solar panels. If I have space on it, and I'm thinking about it, and I might be able to do that, then I want to try to put Izzy's solar script on there, because Izzy's solar script also has a mode where it uses the the gyros on the ship to maneuver solar panels into the sun. So we could just leave it where it is. It moves into the sun, so it stays powered up, and so we don't need to put any things like reactors on there and all that stuff. I will put some batteries down. I haven't decided for a size right now, so that's a thing I have to take a look at. I took a look at the modded drills, but these twin drills that were suggested are they might be a bit better than the normal drills, but they have the same form. If I would do that, I would go for MaxPax's industrial drills or something like that. And maybe I will still do that at one point, but here we will just go with the normal drills. I need to take a bit of a look how big this all will be. I have no idea how I should design that. What I want to do is keep another space open, maybe here, and on the other side too, to put some spotlights in there so that I have lights in here. And maybe up here we could go for a camera or something like that. Down here we will just close it off, and then we have some points in there where there's no and I'm not sure how big the coverage is of this, if this overlaps, but so we can see through this big shield that will be in front of the whole thing, and we have some light behind that. So what I need also is some gyros. 7. We will just go for 2 gyros here and here, and again we need some thrusters. Again, this thing doesn't need a lot, it just needs a bit of thrust so it stays in, so it just stays in place, and the same counts for gyros. One thing I'm not sure how to place it yet is the back thruster. Maybe I put that on top or the bottom so that there is maybe a bit of distance to the back ship that will be here then. We will see. Good. I also need to decide for spacing for then later the connection to the back ship. And also I want to have I need a remote control on there, and later also an antenna. And I think we shouldn't forget maybe an ore detector. Good. Antenna. G. Let us see how big an antenna is. I hope I'm not too quiet at the moment. That fits in there. Okay, we can make it even a bit bigger, so the antenna sticks out at the moment, and that's one thing I don't want. So the antenna will just stay here, and we could put an ore detector somewhere on the other side. Ore detector here. Now that the ore detectors, they seem to work really good now. All the ships here that have ore detectors like this thing, and the drill ship, they all light up the area with ores they have found. It's pretty nice, but good. And then batteries. And the area down here might be good for batteries. So let us put in the batteries. How many do I need for this? 2 for now. And that should be good for now. So this I will detach this, and then we decide where the connection for the backship will be and all this stuff. I still need to figure this out. So the backship again will mostly consist of then cargo containers and the cargo containers, maybe some tanks and O2 production. The good thing is now we have most of the stuff like ore detectors and all this stuff on here, and we don't need to put that on the backship. The backship then needs a battery, maybe also a remote control. I still hope that at one point the remote controls start to work like they worked before, so that they give me the ability to maybe just steer that back automatically. What I also could do is, I'm not sure, maybe have, there's still these scripts that do all the automatic docking. Problem is, in space they don't have any hit detection is the wrong word, the collision avoidance, and that's bad. That's a bad thing here. So I will fill this in, make this wider so the antenna is covered. It ends up being a wall of drills again, but I think that could work out here. So there's noise out there again. It's always when I start to record, somebody decides to do whatever work he or she is doing there. Give me the drills again. So we need to fill that in. Alex Hudson had a square there. We will make it a bit, at least a bit roundish, so it's not so crazy squarish. Good. Now the spotlights. Oh. The idea with Izzy's solo script, and Izzy has another script out there that makes sense to me. I immediately took it. It's a script that is. Should I bring that forward one? Maybe I bring the camera. I could bring forward one. Block. A script that uses LCDs to attach to cargo containers to show the level of fullness. I know that this is not the right word for that. Yeah, it shows a progress bar, basically how full is a cargo container, and the idea is nice. I might have to find a reason to use that somewhere. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of these crazy drill walls anymore. So it would be nice to at one point find a different solution for that. That was the main idea behind making a different form of drill ship, to not have these drill walls here. And I might have to live with them. That's still the most practical way of going resource mining. So the main ship will also have the main ship will have the follow script, so that we could take these drill heads with us if we want. But again, we could also just leave them in place, have them point towards the sun, and then stay there forever. The idea would be, yeah, again, to have beacons that show where are ores, and then I wouldn't have to. So I could mark resource mining points. Later, I hope to find new asteroid clusters that I could just mark the whole cluster, fly towards it, and then the drills would pop up and say, okay, here there's this, here there's this. I wouldn't have to mark individual spots anymore. That's one of the ideas I had behind that, and I think that could be a good solution for us to not have a lot of GPS points anymore, and to still mark where are our good resource spots. It's a bit big for it's a bit big for one of these markers, but again, we could also just leave one of the heads then at each resource point. That's also possible, so that I don't have to go back for drill heads and all that stuff. That's one of the ideas behind that, at least for me. Alex Hudson might have a different idea behind that, but that's the idea I get from that. Good. Let me fill this out a bit more, and then when I have done the drill head, I will come back to you. The drill head is done, and that's it. It's nothing special, nothing beautiful for now. We might color it later, we will have to see. But this thing is now able to just stay here forever and recharge, and it doesn't use a lot of power because it doesn't have a lot of thrusters and all that stuff. And yeah, again, it has everything a ship needs, but it will not be a good flyer, let's say it that way. But I have plonked down some programmable blocks, so we could try to put in Izzy's solar script. And we have a connector that will be the main connection to the main ship then in the end, so that the drills can push all their everything that's in there into a bigger ship with then cargo containers. It's the idea. I should have come to this idea by myself, but the idea is neat, and we find a reason to use merge blocks again. You all know that I'm not the biggest fan, but I don't use a lot of merge blocks, and maybe this will change that in the end. One thing I don't like about merge blocks, and I don't know if that's still the case, is that if we would unmerge, this ship is renamed, and that's a bit sad. I hope that at one point, or maybe that's fixed. I don't know. So we have 4 solar panels. These are enough to power it for a while, and with hopefully Izzy's solar script running on there, That's, by the way, one thing we could test if we want. Let us see. Edit, browse scripts. Is there? Come on. Hello? Is the solar alignment, copy to editor. And I think there's one thing we need to change. Bool rotate is untrue. Bool manual angle false. There is activate an overload, activation on low battery, base light management, simple mode. There's a thing that you have to set where you say, okay, I think we trigger external timer blocks. I think we don't need that anymore. Settings for enthusiasts. I think that's double percentage rotor gyro of the max detected. Rotor speed. There was one thing where we could say, okay, we want it to not use rotors but gyros. So maybe it's updated. Name of the group will solar not needed in gyro mode. So that's what we want to use. Bool use gyro mode. That's what we want to change and see what happens. I hope this doesn't lead to great destruction. Maybe it's just not strong enough to use the gyros. That could be true too. I'm not sure. Is it aligning? Script stopped. Control in a group called solar reference. Okay, flight seat or remote. Put your main cockpit flight seat or remote control in a group called solar reference. Okay, that's one thing. Solar reference. I have to sometimes solar and I have to still look up where are all the E's in these things. I hope it just turns on the spot and doesn't so, okay, aligning. It's aligning. It's aligning. It's aligning. That's so neat. I really like that. And this way we could just leave that thing wherever it is. Use it as a beacon to mark spots where we want to mine. And again, it can just stay there. We could even use it as, I don't know, as a way to relay transmissions. I'm not sure. But that's a neat thing. The other thing we might want to do is then turn that on and off whenever we need it. I think we could even connect the antenna and the programmable block and have that done wirelessly. That should be possible too. I will take a look into that at one point. Now we just know that we can do this with it. Good people, I think that's all for today. Hope you like the idea. A big thanks to Alex Hudson that got in contact with me on Discord, and yeah, I'm really thankful for giving me this idea and letting me see his blueprints. That was one of the things I really liked. Good people, thanks for watching. Hope you liked the episode. If you did, then please leave a like on the video. That helps me out. I hope to see you, I would say, in the next video. See ya, guys.